Awesome. So let's do a bit of a rapid fire. And in this, the first, word sentence comes to your mind. That's really what love to hear. So farming or banking, what's tougher?
Farming.
All right. One thing.
What's tougher?
Yeah. What's
Banking.
tougher?
Because I didn't have an interest in banking. I have more interest in farming. Farming just seems like child's play for me.
No, of course. One thing that you miss about corporate life.
Nothing.
Okay. Organic in India, overhyped or underappreciated?
Underappreciated.
Yeah, I would agree. One food item people should try to stop eating immediately.
I think ultra processed food for sure.
So anything that's coming out of a packet.
Though if it is protein, there's a lot of protein wave.
Right.
Protein in a bar, protein in a chip, protein in this thing. But the base which contains that protein is ultra processed food.
Yeah.
So net outcome is worse for your health.
All those maltodextrins and all of
Absolutely.
that stuff, right? Yeah. One product from your farm that you personally can't live without.
Ghee.
Broadly today, are we eating food or are we eating chemicals?
Broadly weighting chemicals.
Yeah. And of course, which is, the whole reason why you went ahead and did what you did as well. The one thing that Jinke and you end up disagreeing on.
So I, this was always is there that he's more pro expansion and I'm more pro, being a bit conservative.
So more organic growth and kind of taking its time. Yeah, right. One crop that you started working with, tried to grow, and it humbled you completely. It was tough to work with. It failed. Something that gave you a lot of trouble. Any particular crop?
Pomegranate. We tried growing pomegranate the organic way, and it got attacked by a viral infection, a bacterial infection called bacterial blight. It's called Thalia in Marathi, where black spots come on the pomegranate and the pomegranate cracks in 4 days. And my entire orchard cracked.
Oh, damn.
And it was the initial years of our farming. And pomegranate has a gestation period of 4 years. So after 4 years, you get the first crop and that cracked. And that was a nightmare for us.
How did you overcome that? Did you just scrapped it altogether?
So I had 5 acres. So literally I uprooted 2 acres and burnt it. And that site was, not this thing for us. And so we decided the remaining 3 acres, we'll keep it. And we'll just invest in more and more sustainable ways and see how the soil can increase its immunity, increase its nutrition so that the tree can increase its immunity. Because ultimately bacterial blight comes when the tree has low immunity. And I think in 6 months, the bacterial blight started going away. And we saw that. But for those 6 months, there was no case recorded where bacterial blight has gone out of the orchard.
Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
Crazy.
So people were like, this is impossible. You have to uproot the entire orchard, burn it, till the land, put it in sun for 2-3 months and then grow again if you want. So, but that was a nightmare for us.
Oh, I'm sure. Right. Scale fast or grow sustainably? Of course, you've given us an idea on that one as well. One business mistake that cost you a lot.
I think we started this entire revolution of the kind of food that we sell today, from kapli atta to jaggery in a packaged form to cultured ghee to all of this. There was no other brand or business who was doing all of this. And I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but we kept everything very open source. People would come to our factory, see it, farm, see it. And a lot of our IP was stolen. A lot of our ideas were stolen.
Right.
A lot of our content today is stolen.
Yeah.
In the sense, people just do the same thing and they try to sell their produce at a lower cost. And somewhere we had to put some mechanisms in place where, though if somebody else was doing it, they could do it in the right spirit instead of abusing the entire movement. And that we fell short of in the initial days.
And that hurts a lot, right? Because
It's taken us a lot of losses and a lot of 6-7 years to get something to a sustainable angle, and then people pick it up from there and abuse it. So that hurts a lot. But I think you have to learn to live with it over time.
So true.
Somewhere karma plays, I think.
Yeah. D2C brand or traditional distribution? What have you preferred?
D2C brand. We're born in the digital age. D2C has helped us get to consumers across the world.
Yeah.
I love D2C.
Love that. Branding or product? Which matters more?
Product. It speaks for itself in time.
Yeah. Indian farmer versus global competition. Is the Indian farmer ready or not?
The Indian farmer today is subsidized lesser than the global farmer. He is more than ready. When you get them to a level playing field, he will excel.
I love that. Wow, that's a very unique perspective. Awesome. Imported saplings, smart move or risky dependence? And I say this because just as I was mentioning to you, I was in Bombay when I was sitting with someone and said the number of saplings that are being imported into the country are coming with the hundreds of containers right now, and Californian apples and avocados and whatnot. So do you think it's risky dependency or a smart move?
I think it's a risky dependency because the biodiversity that the country is used to, somewhere we should work with that. It's evolved over the last 4,000-5,000 years. It's good for the soil, that variety. It's good for the consumer. Somewhere there's an unsaid mechanism which works between what grows locally and what the consumer needs in terms of nutrition. And that tree that provides exactly that nutrition which is required by those people staying in that area. Now, when you import something that is adapted biologically to a different area altogether,
Right.
it doesn't adapt to this environment. You have to spray it with more pesticides because it attracts pests which are not there in those countries, and is nutritionally also deficient compared to local heirloom variety, which is proven by science. There are a lot of varieties in India which are nutritionally far richer, far richer, like desi legume, lentils, pulses, fruit varieties which might not yield more but have adapted and are better in taste, are richer in nutrition. So you were mentioning about apples, in the US,
Right.
the saplings that are being prepared today to come into India
Yeah.
and to replace Himachal apples.
Yeah.
You keep a Himachal apple and keep a Californian apple. See what you can eat. And you take a bite of each and you keep it out in the open environment.
Yeah.
Even whatever, be it fungus or bacteria, will get attracted to the Indian one faster. It's more palatable for them also.
Right.
This is not real food. An apple 40 years back in US had X nutrition. To get the same nutrition today from that, you need to eat 32 apples.
Crazy.
So what they're producing is only mass, which shines from the outside,
Right.
deficient in nutrition. We shouldn't follow that path. We should go behind what has come to us since tradition, that is much more tastier, that is much more nutritionally rich.
A very powerful point. And again, if you're listening in and watching this, I think that's a very, very pertinent point that potentially, I mean, we're going down a slippery slope. If we're going ahead and just bringing in something which is not, natural, for our conditions, it could be big repercussions, and time will tell. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, even honeybees don't sit on the Apis indica doesn't sit on trees that are bought from the outside environment.
Yeah, yeah. So true, so true. I mean, again, AI, everyone's talking about AI today. So is AI in farming potentially something that can be a game changer or something that's overrated?
No, it can help farmers utilize lesser resources, get information on time, and do farm management and daily tasks on the farm in a better way. Especially farmers who practice chemical-based farming, the administration of chemicals is way less when you use AI, is timely when you use AI. And the administration of water irrigation also is less when you use AI. It's on time.
Right.
I think it will help if decentralized, if small solutions are oriented towards smaller farmers. It will help farmers farm smartly.
And in extension of that, if I was to ask you, the future farmer, is he or she going to be spending more time in the field or more time behind screens?
No, I believe that farming is, you have to spend more time on the farm.
Yeah.
You can use digital interfaces for managing the farm to an extent, but in India, where the land holding is below 3-4 acres per farmer,
Right.
you don't have 4,000-5,000 acres where
No.
you have to manage it remotely with a lot of equipments and machinery, and it's not affordable in India. That scale is not there. In India, it's on the farm. And that's the beauty of it.
That's
I believe that no other country has this advantage of more hands on farms. We are trying through our policy to remove all this and give them employment in the urban areas. Why are we doing it? Why don't we become the basket of good food, of organic food for the world? No other country can produce organic because their farm sizes are 5,000 acres.
Yeah.
They need to do monocropping. They need to use chemical interfaces. Only 3% people practice farming out there. But if we become and we grow organic food, we can supply to Europe and US, which they can never be able to do. So we should use what we have as an advantage rather than as a
Correct.
as a problem.
What is the contribution of farming to the economy today? I mean, I know figures, a few years ago,
I think
moti, what would you say today is the numbers looking
over
like?
55% of the people depend on farming, but what is data tells us that 16% of the GDP comes from agriculture.
Right.
But we are not. I mean, we are a social. This thing also construct. 55% people depend on farming, and that should be taken into consideration instead of how much it is contributing to GDP, because the unseen contribution is large, right? When a farmer burns stubble in Punjab, Delhi is shut down for a week. The quality of air, your lungs, everything is affected. So if you don't attend to him, it's going to affect everybody else's lives.
Very true. Very true. Agreed. One investor who came on board, onto your cap table and you're like, okay, wow, like that was really a star-struck moment for you. Who was, and which one was that?
Nitin Kamath from Zerodha.
Yeah.
So his team came over to the farm, they saw stuff, and immediately next day he said, I love what y'all are building and I want to support y'all without interfering in what and how you're doing it. And he subscribed to 100% of what we were raising, 2 years back then. He doubled down in this round also. Okay. And he's been a fabulous human being. To learn from him is a pleasure, because his style of how he's grown Zerodha also, his humility and his non-interference policy, he believes that he's betted on the founder and on the fact that the person is changing the climate for a better tomorrow. And his team and he have been amazing people to work alongside.
Yeah. I think wonderful individual. In fact, I've had Nikhil on the podcast.
Oh wow!
And again, a couple of amazing people who've also been on the podcast. Ashish Dhawan, Deep Kalra.
Oh nice.
Sanjay Pichindani is going to be on soon as well.
Lovely.
So again, these are, I think, some introductions I'd love to make to you as well, because I think they're amazing individuals as well. A2 ghee or cold pressed oil? If you had to pick one for life, which one would it be?
A2 ghee.
Yeah. The one thing that most people get completely wrong about organic farming.
On the farm side or on the consumer side?
Let's take the consumer side.
So I think they expect the food to look, especially fruits and vegetables, to look pretty, whereas organic is ugly.
So true. Yeah. I think that totally works. Few more questions to wrap this one up. If TBOF were a person, what would their personality be in 3 words?
Humble, connected, spiritual.
Powerful. I like that. Yeah. Those are good traits to have. And your dad didn't want you farming. What's the one thing he says now that hits differently?
So he doesn't say anything negative or anything that disturbs him. He's a farmer, and farmers don't express very easily. So the fact that he doesn't say anything in the last 1 year, he's never told us anything negative. I can see he's enjoying what we are doing, the appreciation we're getting, the wealth we are creating, the employment we're generating. So I think he's loving what we're doing. And
that generation wasn't the most expressive, right? So they would, even if they are proud, they'll kind of hold it within. They're not going to at least not tell you in your face. They might tell
the good things they won't tell you. If they're not working, they'll tell you. But
that is true. That's true.
That's the way they
are. The moment that you knew TBOF had truly arrived, what did that feel like for both of you?
I think it's yet sinking. I feel when people say that you'll have created a brand that's respected and trusted by many, I feel it's something that is yet very small and we have just scratched the surface. There's so much of work to do, in the sense we're working with 5,000 farmers. There are more than 55% of Indians are farmers. We're hardly working with 1%.
Right.
We are serving 7-8 lakh consumers. There are so many people who need access to good food.
Yeah.
So looking at the larger picture, I feel no sense of achievement even today. I feel we have just put a proof of concept that's working. That's very small yet. That needs to be amplified to a large extent.
Love it. Yeah. And the last one that I have for you is about completing the sentence. And if more Indians understood where their food came from, they would dash. So what would the dash be?
They would respect farmers who are growing in the right way tremendously. Today, that respect, that connection, know your farmer is not there. I think they would know all of that, very well.
I'm sure you love this particular clip. If you want to watch the full episode, click on the link below and watch the whole episode.